Hey everybody, I'm Chris Metzler here, one of the programmers here at SF DocFest. As you might have heard, we're celebrating our silver anniversary this year. 25 years of bringing some of the coolest, most interesting documentaries from around the world to here in San Francisco. And for those of you that are maybe watching this at home, just know that after the live screening, we're going to have a roller skating party down at the Church of Eight Wheels that maybe you can swing by and stop by. But you just had a really had the opportunity to see a really great film, Rising Through the Fray, and we're lucky enough to have the director here. Welcome, Courtney.
Hi, thanks for having me.
One of the questions that a lot of people often ask is like, how do filmmakers kind of find the subjects of their film, and also like what makes them kind of take that leap of faith of knowing that there's a story to be told. So, yeah, what was the catalyst for this film?
Yeah, so Rising to the Fray started back in 2018. I am Ganyagahaga from Ganawage. So that's a Mohawk community just outside of Montreal in Canada. And we have a huge roller derby community out there, an amazing league. And so I'm a super fan of roller derby. And that year was when Indigenous Rising came out at the World Cup. And I read about that in my local Ganawage community newspaper, and it just blew my mind. Loving the sport so much, and then finding out that there was going to be this team of all Indigenous women from around the world at that time was just incredible and groundbreaking. Like I got chills and a sense of pride immediately, and I was like, somebody needs to make a film on this. And so at the time, someone from my community was on the team and she connected me with the team and we started those conversations. Um, how it actually started, I met the team at RollerCon in Las Vegas, which is an annual large roller derby convention. And I met them that same year without cameras to get to know one another and to see if it's something the team wanted to move forward with. Because again, being in front of a camera, having a camera there all the time can be incredibly challenging. And we really built a collaborative filmmaking process. And all the teammates, Sour Cherry, Crispy, Hawaiian Blaze, were a part of those discussions, and they got to see the rough cuts of the film as well, and give feedback. I think that's really what was important here is that they were involved all along the way.
Very cool. And so with this being, in some ways, a a film that involves sports, like how did that kind of shape the kind of aesthetic and like kind of visual storytelling approach that you wanted to take, especially with it being such a dynamic sport?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because as much as I love roller derby, from the outset, I was like, this isn't a sports documentary. I think there's a different kind of setup and language to that. For me, it was really important that we were centering Indigenous rising, the importance of that representation, and how important these spaces are for people like Sour Cherry, Crispy, and Hawaiian Blaze. Those stories of disconnection and displacement were really important for me to focus on. So with roller derby, it became a big conversation with my creative team, my director of photography, Kristen Brown, that how we were going to bring in this action, but still stay with the team. So it was interesting at tournaments. We would set up and always have a B camera, somebody working that B camera following the action on the track, while my DP and I stayed with the team so that we could be with them in the locker rooms and in any of those personal moments. But plus, we had another camera set up to like a wide track of the track at all times because we wanted to make sure we didn't miss any action. It's always important if something was going to happen and then somebody talks about it, we don't have the footage. Well, then we have a problem.
Oh, that's a
uh,
tricky one.
yeah, so it was always interesting because also every space is so different. Again, being a self-run DIY sport, volunteer run, every space is different, every track is different. And it was working again with each of the tournament spaces far in advance to say, like, hey, we're going to be there. What's the layout going to be? Where can we be? Because we want to make it one safe for everybody there. and to not be in the way of people who are there to enjoy roller derby.
And so, you know, as you started kind of making the film, did it evolve any kind of unexpected ways that you didn't expect, or, what do you think the biggest surprises in making the film was?
Yeah, well, surprises or challenges, of course, were COVID, because for, again, a DIY sport volunteer run, they had to shut down for a very long time compared to other sports. They don't have the funds to go and quarantine teams in hotels to go and play. So there was a pause until about early 2023. And the last time we filmed with the team was when they were all together in 2019. And so we kept up the conversations over those years when the team itself was unsure if they were going to continue what was going to be the next transformation of the team. Just keeping in contact over those years. And some teammates obviously, left over time, retired from the sport, and we picked back up with them in Louisiana. So it was really beautiful and special to be alongside them again when they were restarting and meeting with them in that parking lot as teammates are showing up, new teammates who hadn't been on the team before. I think that's what's special about the film, that it follows that journey. We're with them all along the way as they get back on the track and they find new space in Indigenous rising.
Very cool. It's a really powerful film. I'm just so glad that you spent the time and patience to kind of capture it, but also, the folks that kind of shared their stories. It resonates in just a really cool way.
Thanks.
Well, thanks again, Courtney. I appreciate you being part of SF DocFest and have a great day.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you.